Hey, Ani, my relatives, my brothers and sisters of Turtle Island, and every nation across this earth, I come before you not as a politician, not as a leader, but as a simple servant of the Creator, a carrier of a flame, a sacred flame passed down through generations who prayed we would one day stand at this very moment. Today, I honor the Great Spirit, the Creator of all. I honor Yeshua, the Redeemer, the great healer who showed us the path of love, forgiveness, and truth. I honor the ancestors who walked before us, those who sang the old songs, prayed the old prayers, and dreamed of a day when the people would return to the sacred ways. I honor you, every single soul hearing these words, because you are not here by accident. You are here because you were called, because you carry within the embers of the fire that cannot be extinguished. We gather now on sacred ground, Turtle Island, a land that was once pure, a land that was once whole. Before it was called America, it was called by the names of the people. It was cared for by the reverence it was sung, to dance upon, prayed over, and loved like a living being. But this land and her people have been wounded by greed, wounded by lies, wounded by those who forgot the face of the Creator who traded their spirit for silver and power. And now we find ourselves standing at a crossroads. The very crossroads of our ancestors and prophets and our elders spoke of. The crossroads of the seventh fire. Today I come not just to tell you a story, but to call you into that story, to invite you to become part of the Great Awakening, the healing of Turtle Island, the fulfillment of a prophecy, the beginning of a new chapter for all people of the earth, a chapter not written in greed or violence, but written in love, truth, respect, bravery, wisdom, humility, and honesty. The seven grandfather teachings, teachings that align with the eternal Torah of the Creator, teachings that Yeshua lived and bled to remind us of. Today I'm not here to play small. Today I speak to you as a messenger of the ancestors, a carrier of the sacred flame, a voice calling out into the wilderness. Return, heal, rise, rebuild, awaken. This is our moment. This is the hour when Turtle Island can heal, and through her healing, the world itself can be reborn. The fire is waiting. The only question is, will we rise to meet it? Let us begin. The truth must be spoken, and heard. Ani, my relatives. Before we can heal, we must speak the truth. Before we can walk a new road, we must look with clear eyes at a path that brought us here. The land that we stand on today, this Turtle Island, was not given freely. It was taken by blood and by betrayal. Our ancestors welcomed the newcomers with open hands and with prayers with gifts of knowledge. How to plant, how to fish, how to survive in a land that was unknown to them. The first agreements were made not with the sword, but with the pipe, with the promise of brotherhood. But what followed what was a breaking of those sacred promises? Treaties were made and broken. Lands were taken and souls were crushed. Children were stolen from their mothers' arms, placed into cold schools where their hair was cut, their language beaten out of them, their prayers silenced. They told our people that to be who we were was a crime. They said we were savages. They said our songs, our ceremonies, our ways of life were wrong, when in truth, we were living the Creator's instructions all along. It is not anger that brings these words to you now. It is truth, because truth is the medicine that cleans all the wounds. If we pretend the wound was never made, we cannot heal it. If we pretend the suffering did not happen, we dishonor the generations who endured it. And I say today, as a child of Turtle Island, as a voice carrying the prayers of many nations, we will no longer hide the truth. The truth is, this land, Turtle Island, was and still is sacred. The truth is, the values that once guided this land were values of gratitude, respect, humility, and life, not exploitation and death. The truth is, the American dream was built on the broken backs of indigenous peoples, of enslaved peoples, and exploited peoples. And the truth is, we are still feeling those wounds today, in our bodies, in our families, and in our communities. But there is another truth, the deeper truth, the truth that can heal us all. It is this: the Creator has not forgotten His people. The songs of the ancestors will rise on the wind. The fire of the old ways still burns in our blood, and the spirit of healing is ready to move if we are ready to receive it. We are not here to blame. We are not here to shame. We are here to forgive. We are here to remember. We are here to heal. And we are here to rise, because the truth once spoken and embraced does not tear us apart. It sets us free. And I tell you today, freedom is calling. The old drums are calling. The earth herself is calling. But will we answer? That's what we must ask ourselves. Now I'm going to get into a little bit of the seven fires prophecy. Now, my relatives, long ago when the world was still young, the Creator saw what was coming upon this earth. He saw great changes would sweep across the land. He saw that trials would come to His people, to all people. And so in His great mercy, He sent 7 prophets to the Anishinaabe, the 3 fires people, to prepare the way. Each prophet spoke of a fire, a time and era that would come to pass. Each fire carried teachings, warnings, and choices. Today I would tell you the full story of the 7 fires, because you deserve to know, because you were born for such a time as this, because the fire still lives in you. The first fire, the time of origin and departure. The first prophet came and told the people, "You must rise up and leave your homes along the eastern ocean. You must journey westward to a land where food grows on the water. Along the way, you will find stopping places, signs left by the Creator. If you stay faithful to the ways, you will survive and thrive." And so great migration began. The people traveled by rivers and lakes, carrying their bundles, their songs, and their ceremonies. They stopped at sacred places along the way: Montreal, Niagara Falls, and the Straits of Micmac, each marked by a memory, each in lesson and endurance and faith. This fire was a time of great obedience and hope. The people trusted the unseen promises of the Creator. They walked by faith, not by sight. The second fire, the time of straying and danger. The second prophet came and warned. Along your journey there will be dangers. You will be tempted to forget who you are. You will be tempted to chase after material things. You will be tempted to abandon the sacred ways. And sadly, for some, that warning came true. As the people moved and struggled to survive, divisions arose. Some turned toward greed, selfish, and pride. Some lost sight of the spiritual instructions, focusing only on the earthly survival, forgetting the higher law. The second fire was a time of testing. This would be where the people would stay true to their sacred teachings, or would they become lost along their way? The consequences of forgetting were real: disunity, suffering, sickness, loss of purpose. The third fire, the time of finding sacred place. The third prophet brought a word of the great hope. If you remain strong, if you hold fast to the teachings, you will find the place where food grows on water. You will find new homeland. And it was so. The people found in the Manuman, the wild rice growing upon the waters of the Great Lakes. They settled along the shores of Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, and Lake Huron. Here they built villages, lodges, and sacred circles. Here they revived their ceremonies. They danced. They prayed. They lived once again close to the heart of the Creator. The third fire was a time of renewal, abundance, and gratitude. The people were given they needed because they walked that good road. The fourth fire, the time of the great test, the arrival of the light-skinned race. Then came the fourth prophet, and he brought a grave warning. He said, "Soon you will be visited by a light-skinned race. They will come carrying two faces. One hand will offer friendship, the other will hide the sword." He said, "You will be given a choice. If you welcome them with the sacred pipe and they accept it with pure hearts, then there will be a great era of peace, unity, and enlightenment for all people. But if they chose greed over harmony, if they chose conquest over compassion, if they betray the sacred agreements, then great suffering will descend upon the land. The rivers will run with sorrow. The earth will weep. The children's laughter will be stolen. And when the ships came, the test began. At first, there were moments of hope. Treaties were made. Pipes were smoked. Prayers were shared. But soon, the second face was revealed. Greed, violence, treachery. The promises made under the sacred pipe were broken again and again. Lands were seized. Families were shattered. Sacred sites were desecrated. Ceremonies were outlawed. Children were taken into boarding schools where they were stripped of language, of culture, of spirit. And so the choice of the fourth fire was made, not by all the people, but by those in power. The wrong road was chosen. And with that choice, Turtle Island was thrown into centuries of suffering. We are still living in the shadow of that broken covenant today. The fifth fire, the time of darkness and forced assimilation. The fifth prophet spoke of the time that would come if the wrong road was chosen. And so it became to pass. This was the era of the boarding schools, of the stolen children, of the broken families. It was a time of the ceremonies had to go underground, when the sacred pipes were hidden away in caves and forests. It was a time when many lost hope. The people were told they were worthless, told they were evil, told they must forget who they were. This was a time when the spiritual wounds grew deep. The darkness fell across Turtle Island, but deep in the hearts of the people, the embers still glowed. The sixth fire, the time of the waking and seeking elders. The sixth prophet brought word of hope. One day a generation will arise. They will seek out the teachings that were lost. They will seek the elders. They will ask for the stories, the songs, and the ceremonies. They will seek to heal what was broken. And today we are seeing this prophecy fulfilled. Language revitalization, ceremonial revival, healing circles, truth-telling movements. The young ones, the warriors of today, are seeking the old wisdom. The embers hidden through the darkness are being fanned into flame. The people are rising. The healing has begun. The seventh fire, the time of the final choice. Now we live in the time of the seventh fire. And the prophet told us, in the time of the seventh fire, a new people will emerge. They will retrace their steps to find what was lost. They will search for what was left behind the side of the trail long ago. They will pick up the sacred teachings. They will choose a road. And all people, not just the natives people, but all peoples will stand at a great crossroads. One path is the path of materialism, greed, division, hatred, the path of destruction. It leads to environmental collapse, spiritual death, and endless suffering. The other path is filled with unity, respect, truth, forgiveness, and living according to the Creator's instructions. It leads to healing, and it leads to the eighth fire. The final choice rests with us today, now. My relatives, we are not helpless. We are not lost. We are standing at the edge of the new dawn. The Creator still waits with open arms. The ancestors are watching. The earth is listening. The fire is burning. The only question is, will we rise? Will we choose life? Will we fulfill the dream of our ancestors? Will we ignite the eighth fire? The choice is ours. The time is now. The eighth fire is the flame of the healing of extinction. My relatives, the prophets also spoke of something beyond the seven fires. They spoke of an eighth fire. This wasn't promised. A time when Turtle Island and the whole world could be reborn. But the eighth fire is not guaranteed. It is a flame that must be chosen. It is a flame that must be tended with care, sacrifice, and unity. The elders taught at the time of the seventh fire, humanity will come to a great crossroads. One path will lead to the flame dying out, to destruction, to sorrow beyond imagination. The other path will lead to the eighth fire, the time of healing, balance, and harmony. So today, my relatives, we are standing at the crossroads. We can already feel it. The trembling of the earth is under our feet. The water's growing sick. The sky is growing heavy. The hearts of the people acting with sorrow and confusion. Mother Earth herself waits for our decision. Will we continue to poison the lands and one another until the sacred flame is extinguished? Until the dream of healing is lost forever? Or will we rise together, native and non-native, young and old, rich and poor, choose to rekindle the sacred fire? Will we choose life? Will we choose healing? Will we walk forward not as conquerors, but as brothers and sisters returning to the sacred instructions, returning to the Creator's way? This is the moment. The choice cannot be delayed. The choice must be made now by every heart, every family, and every nation. If we choose rightly, if we honor the earth, honor the Creator, honor one another, then the eighth fire will be lit, and a new world will be born. A world not of domination, but of compassion. A world not of destruction, but of restoration. A world where the old prophecies and the teachings of the Torah flow like two rivers joining into one. The world where Turtle Island once again becomes a beacon for all nations. But we must recognize something else. This wisdom, the prophecy of the fires, was not kept alive by accident. It was protected. It was preserved through centuries of persecution, through boarding schools, through laws that tried to silence it. The sacred flame was kept alive by the elders, by the storytellers, by the faith keepers of the Midwin Society, the Grand Medicine Society of the Anishinaabe. At great cost, at great sacrifice, through prayer, fasting, ceremony, and silence, they carried the teachings forward through the darkness into dawn. And so today, we must honor them. We must give thanks. We must recognize that without their strength, without their love, without their sacrifice, we would not have this chance. We would be wandering in the darkness without even knowing the way back. Miigwech to all the elders. Miigwech to all the Midwin. Miigwech to all the faith keepers who never let the fire die. We honor you and we thank you. We walk forward with your prayers wrapped around us like a blanket. And with humility, with gratitude, with reverence, we will carry the flame onward. Not for ourselves alone, but for the children yet unborn, for the 7 generations yet to come, for the healing of the world. The eighth fire is within reach. The only question is, will we choose to light it? Let us choose life, my relatives. Now that we have walked through the fires of the prophecy, now that we stand at crossroads of destiny, we must ask a sacred question. What values will we live by? Because it is not enough to tear down the broken systems of the past. It is not enough to say we must heal. We must rebuild. We must plant seeds for a new world. And those seeds must be planted in sacred ground, in sacred values, in the way that the Creator gave to our ancestors long ago. The values that once guided Turtle Island were not greed, conquest, or domination. They were wisdom, love, respect, bravery, honesty, humility, and truth. The seven grandfather teachings were given by the Creator, passed down through generations of elders, kept alive through prayer and suffering, are the one true foundation stones for the rebirth of our nations. Today, let us remember them. Today, let us commit to live by them. Let me share them with you now, not as dead words, but as living fires for your heart. Wisdom. Wisdom is not just knowledge. It is knowing how to live rightly, how to walk the sacred path, how to make decisions that honor the Creator and creation. Wisdom means seeing with the eyes of the heart. It means remembering that every action today affects the children of tomorrow. Without wisdom, we are lost. With wisdom, we can heal the world. Love. Love is not a sentimentality. It is fierce, sacrificial, and unconditional. Love means protecting the weak. Love means forgiving when it is hard. Love means standing in unity, not division. Creator's first commandment is love. Without love, there is no healing. Respect. Respect is seeing the sacred in all things. The plants, the waters, the animals, the elders, the children. Even those who are different from us, respect means honoring the uniqueness of every being, because every being carries a piece of the Creator's spirit. Without respect, there is only exploitation. With respect, there is harmony. Bravery. Bravery is not the absence of fear. Bravery is doing what is right, even when fear is screaming at you. Bravery is standing up for the sacred, even when the world mocks you. Bravery is speaking truth to power, even when your voice trembles. Without bravery, evil reigns. With bravery, the sacred way is protected. Honesty. Honesty is being true. True to yourself, true to others, true to the Creator. Honesty means not hiding behind masks. It means not speaking lies, not even little ones. It means living transparently, walking with integrity. Without honesty, trust dies. With honesty, communities are healed. Humility. Humility is knowing you are not greater and not lesser than any other creation. Humility is bowing your head before the Creator and saying, I am small, but I am loved. I have purpose, but I am not the sinner. Humility protects us from pride, which is the root of all destruction. Without humility, power corrupts. With humility, leaders serve and nations thrive. Truth. Truth is the sum of all teachings. Truth is living in harmony with the Creator's design. Truth is refusing to be deceived by the shiny lies of the world. Truth is seeking and living what is real. Without truth, we are enslaved. With truth, we are free. These are the sacred instructions. These are the values that once made Turtle Island strong and can make her strong again. These are the teachings that mirror the heart of the Torah, the commandments to love Yah with all your heart, your mind, and your soul, and to love your neighbor as yourself. These are the values that Yeshua lived perfectly, walking with wisdom, loving with broken, respecting the creators, and speaking truth without fear. This is a new foundation for a new world. If we are to build a new Turtle Island, if we are to light the eighth fire, then these must be the foundation stones we lay. Not money, not politics and not pride, but wisdom, love, respect, bravery, honesty, humility, and truth. If we teach these to our children, if we live these in our communities, if we build our laws and our economics and our cultures around these sacred values, then the land will heal. The rivers will sing again. The children will dance again. And the world will remember what it forgot. My relatives, the future is not written in stone. It is written by the hearts and hands of the living. Let us be the generation that rebuilds Turtle Island on the sacred ground. Let us be the generation that honors the Creator's instructions. Let us be the generation that lights the eighth fire. It begins now, and it begins with you. For Turtle Island of America, that's the future I see, and I hope my children can be able to play in and grow in. I just want to say thank you for taking the time to listen to me, Miigwech, and have a blessed day.